What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down what shorts are doing, as well as what Lucid is doing with their management team. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. And my apologies for the raspy voice. I seem to be getting sick or whatever else, but whatever. Aside from that, market just opened roughly around 10-15 minutes ago. It is down slightly, 0.58%. So bounced off of that 350 mark. So as what I've stated in the past, that 350 mark is linked to options. So obviously market makers and shorts do not want Lucid to close above these key strike prices. So I'm going to go over options in a second, but as of right now, 425,000 in volume, 36.1 is the average. So today is going to be a little bit low for the volume, similar to yesterday. There's not really much kind of pushing Lucid higher, so no data points, nothing like that today, so it is relatively quiet. During power hour today though, you are going to have a lot of volatility because of tomorrow. You do have this first thing, so ADP, non-farm employment. I don't think people are too worried about that, rather what Powell is going to say. So in reality, that's going to definitely shake up the broader market. And plus, on a side note, a lot of companies are unveiling their earnings. So Microsoft is after hours, and then Apple later in the week. So there's going to be a lot of volatility. So definitely watch for this right here for the September 18th meeting to kind of maintain. So right now, given the circumstances, 87.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut and 11.9% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. I think the market definitely does need this right now. And for whatever reason, if Powell comes out hawkish and changes the dynamic of this, then this is where you'll see more of a significant pullback. There has been no official news from Lucid today, no SEC filings, nothing like that. One thing I do have to give a shout out to is 𝗪𝗧, if I'm saying that right. My apologies if not, but I posted, and plus in the past couple of videos, whenever I go over the top questions, I've been sorting based off of top voted. He did bring it to light that it is actually where they choose the questions most shares, so I got to give it to him. So he kind of made my day, because these top voted questions in my opinion are kind of crap, versus if we look at most shares, these questions are a little bit more accepting. So this one is still there, so it is under both the top voted and most shares. So this question in reality isn't really the best, but we do have a ESS question, so I'm very happy that Paul asked that. Paul seems to be very, very active actually. So Paul. This one right here I think is a good question and suited for Peter. So obviously, Peter likes to rant about technology. That is a very good question suited for him. And this one actually is another very good question asked by Nadeem. And this is about expansion, and more specifically the UK, because I think that's one thing they originally stated was going to come out at the tail end of 2023. And I think the last update, not official, but was going to be roughly 2 years. I don't see that as satisfactory. There's a lot of good money in the UK that could really benefit from marketing, selling, and if they do want to have the kind of maybe a English Premier League team as a sponsor, or to sponsor them, like that would really work if they did physically deliver to the UK. So as of right now, it's not really, wouldn't make sense for an English Premier League team, but I think these questions are very, very good. And then this one, hopefully they do really break it down, and this earnings will tell us exactly all we need to know about the gravity. So once again, shout out for this. So there's one thing, like I said, that wasn't necessarily the best. So I'm going to go over this before I go over the data and what shorts are doing, because in the past, Lucid has done, I think it's 3 mass full layoffs of management, complete swap outs of teams, and clearly insinuating that things were not going right and they were trying to switch things up. And you know what, sometimes that's justified in some cases, maybe once, maybe twice, but 3 times seems to be somewhat excessive. And they have done individual layoffs here and there. But recently, there's this individual, and I haven't really ever brought him up in videos, but he has been around since 2022. So pretty much right at the beginning, So Lucid appoints Derrick Carty as the Vice President of Platform Software Engineering. So this was August 25th, 2022. I believe since then he was promoted to head of digital. And so again, that's a kind of vital role for Lucid, which you can even see based on his LinkedIn. He's very much all about Lucid, recently posted about that. And this 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗃𝗧, saying that obviously he's a very good worker and everything. So when it comes down to Derrick though, if you actually look under 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗃𝗧𝗏 Leadership, he is not there. And this is one of those things that I think Lucid has really struggled with. They did announce 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗏 because I think whoever listens to Lucid's earnings knows 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗏, or at least did, right? She's even popping up right here, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗏. So in essence, I feel like this is a questionable action. Like, I get it. You have to typically announce departures of management, and whenever that doesn't happen, it usually isn't the best sign. So as you can kind of see, he isn't there. And plus, if you kind of pull up his specifics, so actually Google his name, so Derrick Carty, you get this. So this page got unplugged. So he got laid off, or either he quit, but needless to say, that's something that Lucid does need to really address. And got to give a shout out to Nick. So a lot of people have been really liking him on Twitter. So he's been very, very active. So Lucid does update this quite frequently. And so yeah, I think in reality, Lucid should really bring this up, hopefully during their earnings. If they do not voluntarily bring that up, then I feel like that would be an even bigger red flag. But still, once again, it's not a full mass VP or kind of management change. It is just, as far as I can tell, just a one-off, but still something to keep in mind. Right now, shorts are increasing roughly around 560,000 shares. So once again, adding that kind of resistance point around that 340 range, or 350, sorry. 26.65% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 235.99 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 91.19, short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is 90.46, and then cost to borrow average is 15.56. Shorts have been surprisingly overall returning. There's been some days that they do kind of double down and show that they're active, but for the most part they have been returning. So I think that's a clear indication that they are not overly scared, but they're worried about Lucid's upcoming earnings being extremely positive. That's just my opinion, of course. I could be wrong about that. Looking at options, I'm just going to hit refresh, so it'll kind of show today's data. So right now, 37,000 in calls, 36,000 in puts. So kind of low dollar value for that. 51% of all the options being done so far are optimistic and bullish, but with shorts increasing that amount, no doubtably that is going to be shorts hedging. Of the call options that are being purchased so far today, 350 seems to be a very strong consensus for that. And so this is how I do know that shorts are the ones that are buying those calls, the bullish calls, just hedging, because they always choose the closest strike price. Anything outside of that, that's true, either institutions or retail, kind of being optimistic about the foreseeable future. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be kind of sub $4, not much to go on based off of that. If we look at the open interest though, it looks like for the August 16th chain, there's a strong consensus for it to be sub $2. So that is kind of extreme if you ask me. These are all the transactions so far occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So it looks like there's only one today, 398,000 as far as a premium. And right now with it trading at $3.47, so it is recovering slightly. It is trading between this pivot and this R1. So 342 is a strong support, and then 357 is a strong resistance slash target. So all in all, I think Lucid, there's a lot more upside coming with Lucid. Just it'd be good if they were transparent and brought things up like this. But let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.